Witness the colossal boxing showdown nobody expected, live on Netflix. International superstar Jake Paul, the sport's most watched fighter, takes on Britain's two-time unified heavyweight world champion and Olympic gold medalist, Anthony A.J. Joshua, in the most dangerous and defining matchup of their careers. This is Judgment Day. Watch Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, Friday, December 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, live on Netflix.
When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite, obey your thirst.
Here's my 30-second story with Guinness. As soon as my sister and I get home for the holidays, we don't even unpack. We head straight to our pub. The bartender already knows our order, Guinness and fries. We laugh all night, catch up with old friends, and walk home with faces sore from smiling. It's one of my favorite nights of the year. That was my 30-second story with Guinness.
Guinness Draft Stout. Please enjoy responsibly. Imported by Diageo Beer Company, USA, New York, New York.
Running a business means I wear lots of hats. Luckily, when it's time to put on my hiring hat, I can count on LinkedIn to make it easy. I can post a job for free or pay to promote it and get 3 times more qualified candidates. Imagine finding your next great hire in 24 hours. 86% of small businesses do. With LinkedIn, I can also easily share my job with my network. No other job site lets me do that. Post your free job at linkedin.com/achieve. That's linkedin.com/achieve. Terms and conditions apply.
Every who down in Who Newville liked the holidays a ton. But where to get great prices on gifts, they had no idea. None. They searched and they searched for great gifts under $25. Gifts for spouses and friends and even their toddlers. When suddenly one who shouted, Walmart has what you want, knowing they have Lego, Tree Hut, and low prices to flaunt. So they enjoy the holiday season as Who's often do. Cheering and shouting, Walmart has incredible gifts. Who knew? Find gifts they'll love under $25 at Walmart.
All right, well, let's get into the defense then. The defense has, a great performance only on the field for, I think it was 42, maybe it was 44 plays. Holds the Raiders, I believe it was below like 100 passing yards. Just phenomenal performance, shuts out the Raiders. And again, it's the Raiders, it's a backup quarterback, but the Raiders have put up points recently, as you mentioned up top, against the Broncos and some other teams. And so another standout performance from the defense. And I do not have my clips for the defense. I was telling Jonny, I don't know what happened to them. I tweeted them and they disappeared from my computer into the ether. So we'll primarily rely on your film thread, I guess, for the clips, but we can just start off a discussion. Where do you want to talk defensively first?
Just how I think I put this in the Bleeding Green review this week that the Raiders obviously suck, but there was this tweet from Zach Berman where Fangio has coached the Eagles defense for 35 games, including the playoffs. In 13 of them, they've held the opponent to 1 or fewer touchdowns, 37%. What the good defenses do, they batter bad offenses. They absolutely wrecked them. I could start anywhere. Do you know what, actually? I almost feel like schematically there's nothing to talk about really in this game. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It was just what they do schematically. So do you want to go through it a little bit unusually? Do you want to go through it like position group by position group? And maybe just talk about some individuals? Because I don't really have any they didn't do anything to match what Kenny Pickett was doing, or they just played their defense. It was just Fangio. I think the longer we have Fangio this year, the harder it is to talk about schematic stuff, because it's just the same. It's not like, wow, they ran this really funky blitz. They didn't blitz. They didn't need to. They ran the same stuff. So do you want to talk about maybe individuals? Do you want to start up front on the defensive line? Because I think Jordan Davis deserves his flowers. I really do. I've got to play 4 on my film thread if you want to just show one that I really like. I think the Eagles might need to pay him. They might need to pay him.
Davis has been so good the last few weeks.
He's effortlessly winning like this. Like, this is just like perfect technique. Win with one arm, second arm is kept free. This is your classic like one gap and a half style where he's sort of got his head to the left and he's moving to the left, but that right arm is always free. And he knows at any point he can get back to it. So I think defensive line-wise, he's just playing really well. And I thought we should talk about him a little bit because he's playing more snaps than he's ever played before. Said this on post-game. He has now overtaken the most snaps he has ever played in a single year already. And there's 3 games left. And he's looked better than he's ever had. So, yeah, conditioning might be an interesting thing to talk about how much difference it's made. But do they pay him? Do they prioritize him over Carter at this point? Over a JMO at this point? I don't even know what he'll get on the market, but he's playing really well.
Yeah, I have no idea what the contract would look like for him on the open market because I feel like guys like that are still always going to be underpaid because they don't get sacks. I would definitely like to see the Eagles keep him, and I think the Eagles will try to keep him. I mean, they've got time with Jalen Carter, and frankly, I probably want another year to look at Jalen Carter before I try to pay him at this point. Yeah, I think he's a guy that I would want to keep because he makes a big impact on what you can do schematically. Like, you want to live in the too-high world, you need a guy like Jordan Davis. And I remember talking about this at the time the Eagles drafted him. Like, he makes the math work. Like, guys like Jalen Carter, although they're never going to put up big sack numbers, although I did hope that he would develop as a pass rusher. I admit I had higher hopes for that than what turned out to be the case. But he's a game changer because you have to be able to stop the run from a light box to live in the too-high world. And so you need guys that can eat up 2 gaps to do that. And that's what Jordan Davis has been good at. You would like to see more of him as a pass rusher, especially considering where the Eagles drafted him. Considering what the Eagles might pay him, I don't know. I mentioned a comment here that the contract comp for Davis is the Travis Jones extension. I loved Travis Jones in his draft too, for a lot of the same reasons. However,
I think Davis gets more. I've looked him up. Travis Jones is on $13.5 million a year.
I was going to say Davis has the first round pedigree that Jones didn't. Yeah. Whether that should matter or not is a whole different thing, but it does. So, I would imagine it's higher than that. Obviously, is a lot better, but could you get under 20? Could you get around 20 per year? We just need to ask Eric. Eric apparently can tell us within like a $500,000 what his contract's going to be.
Somebody in the Discord on Patreon, just ask Eric what Jordan Davis will get, and he will tell us all. Although that's in the off season, whether he can do it now. I know they're not technically defensive line, but I guess talking about edge rushers as well, Jalen Hunt had his usual, didn't really see a great pass rush move, but got pressure all the time. I think Jalen Phillips is just a really good, smart player. I don't think he's been as explosive since his first week, but I think he knows the scheme well. He had a couple of really good reps in coverage in this game as well, which I thought was nice, where you could tell he read the fake split zone type thing with the tight end that the Eagles do. And anyone else you want to talk about defensive line-wise? 2 decent weeks from Byron Young. Is that fair to point out?
Yeah, he's been fine. Brandon Graham made a big impact in only 7 snaps.
In 7 sacks. Yeah, 7 snaps, sorry. 7 sacks would be really cool.
Yeah. I think we were talking about this on Discord earlier today, but I still think edge rusher is a pretty big need for the Eagles. Like, they don't have an edge rusher that can go, like, you can rely on to go get pressure. Like, Nolan Smith is really athletic, and he's a good run defender, and he's high effort. Jalen Hunt, same thing. Smart player, high effort, good run defender. Neither one of those guys has done much as a pass rusher. Jalen Phillips will be a free agent next year. Maybe the Eagles bring him back, but I think you can win in a world. You can be really good as a defensive line in a world where you have Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt as speedy edge guys that will contain and stop the run, and it really lets your top-tier defensive tackle pass rush first. Jalen Carter hasn't been that this year, and we've seen what that did to the Eagles' pass rush. So the Eagles need the old Jalen Carter back, or they need some pass rush juice from somewhere. And I'm going to be interested to see how they approach that in the offseason. Like, Nakobe Dean presumably is going to be gone, so you can't generate pressure blitzing him. So I don't know how that works out long term. Like Hunt and Smith are nice pieces to have, but neither of them have done a ton as a pass rusher. And I know that, Nolan Smith was hurt earlier this year and maybe he's still not 100%, whatever. I mean, all I'm going to assume is guys are on the field, not on the injury report. We're going to call them good. I'm not sure how the Eagles will approach that this next offseason, but I do think it's something they should probably look at.
Yeah, Fangio said that Nolan Smith is not on a pitch count anymore. So, yeah, my guess is he's fine. I want to talk linebacker as well, so we do it position by position. What was it called? Thought Nakobe Dean, when he knows what he's looking at, is like God tier. I have a good clip of him, I think play 10 on my film thread. When he trusts his eyes, oh my God, is he explosive. Like, or play 9, yeah. When he trusts his eyes, is there anyone faster? The speed in which he comes downhill when he sees it. Look, when he recognizes it, he knows exactly what this is. When he has to think, he's nowhere near as good. When he knows what he's looking at, he is exceptional. Like, yeah, he's very fun to watch when he does stuff like this. The burst, and he did this like 3 times in the game. Just really, really cool. And then trying to talk about Zach Bourne's interception as well.
Yeah, real quick on Nakobe Dean. Yeah, it's almost not fair to a running back that they have to block him running through the A gap, and then when you get a little designer screen pass out there, he's hitting you again. Almost feel bad for running backs against Nakobe Dean. There were still a couple reps. I thought he was a liability a bit in coverage, not where he should have been, but that's kind of what you're going to get with him. So, let's see, the Zach Bond interception.
Yeah, this is a really cool one to break down as well, isn't it? They play like we get on a tangent about Quinion Mitchell and how important he is to his defense at the moment, but the Raiders just kept doing what I wouldn't do against the Eagles. What I wouldn't do is I wouldn't go 3-by-1, because then what the Eagles do is they play 5-over-3 and Quinion 1-over-1 and you're screwed. And the Raiders kept doing it, and I was like, stop going 3-over-1. If I was playing the Eagles, I would never go 3-by-1, because going 3-by-1 is just death, because the Eagles are going to go 5-over-3, as I mentioned. The only reason why I'd go 3-over-1 is if I wanted to get the running back on the linebacker on that opposite side. But if it's not that, I don't care. So they end up boxing these 3 routes, and I love watching Bourne on this play. Watch how little he looks at the receiver, and watch how his eyes are just on the QB. Just got that natural like vibe of, I know what play you're running because I understand and can feel coverage. Like, it's just a really cool play by him if you see what he does.
Yeah, so let's quickly run through. We've talked about some of these before, but there's 2 checks for quarters that are in on this play. One is their tricks, which is what they do against 3-by-1, which means the weak side safety is looking for a crosser from the other side of the field. So Reed Blankenship is keyed in on particularly the inside receiver to run any sort of a crossing route. They also have a box check on. People will call it different things, but it's designed for like bunches, which is what they started in. They kind of motion out of it, but they're still all congested. And so you basically just drop a box. You've got a low inside, low outside, high inside, high outside guy. And so it essentially becomes 5-over-3. Like Jonny mentioned, that means you've got Quinion Mitchell, one-on-one, man everywhere he goes with, I think that's Brock Bowers. You've got the same thing with Nakobe Dean and the linebacker. And they dial up something that should beat this box check here, because they're going to run a guy short to the flat, which takes your low and away guy. They're going to run a guy vertically that takes your high and away guy, and then they're essentially flooding, right? And so this guy should be open. And Zach Bond just knows, like, if you watch him on this play, he recognizes what's coming, and you can sort of see this box forming. This outbreaking route should be open, but Zach Bond notices what's happening, eyes are on Kenny Pickett, and he just stays with the route. It hits him right in the hands. That's a nice catch, by the way. That's not an easy catch for a linebacker to make. I'll tell you one thing, Quinion Mitchell wouldn't have made that catch. But no. Just a really nice play there by Zach Bond. And I mean, he's so good. And I don't feel like he hasn't gotten his flowers as much this year.
He hasn't the last month. He hasn't.
Yeah, it's been a little rougher for him this year. And he hasn't been bad. He just hasn't made the splash plays he made last year, but still a very good linebacker. And it's just so happy he's an Eagle.
Yeah, and let's finish it up because we said we'd do a quick one this week and then we're going longer. Secondary, I don't know what to say about Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell, except for last year's draft might have saved the defensive the franchise moving forward because it's just unbelievable. Just really quickly, Shane, look at play 1 of my film, Fred, because I love this. If you told an offensive coordinator, what we're going to do is we're going to run a run play and we're going to get our 6th overall pick in the draft, one-on-one with their outside cornerback, with nobody else near, you're thinking, oh, this is a good run play. Unless you're playing the Eagles and Cooper DeJean is the corner, because who cares about your run scheme? This is like a really nice run play by the Raiders. As I said, if you had said that before the play, that's what we're going to get on this play, you'd be thinking it's a bit worrying for the Eagles. This could be a 60-yard run or whatever. If you look at, or 50 yards, wherever they are, like, there's no one else there. If he breaks DeJean's tackle, that's a really nice block. You can't block everyone. You can't block the outside corner. He's not in the run fit. They block that perfectly, and Cooper DeJean's like, nah, 2-yard gain. First lever speed to come downhill, speed to recognize it, bang. So good as a tackler. And Quinion's, I don't know, top 3 cornerback in the league. Him and Satan and 1 or 2 others, like, just doesn't get beat. Teams don't even throw him. Teams don't throw him anymore. They just give up. I've got one clip of him where they try and throw him, which is quite funny towards the end. Might be the very last one. This is the first time, 3rd and long, they finally go 3-by-1 again. And they're like, right, every team does this now. If you just pause it and go back like 5 seconds, this is why I'd never go 3-by-1 against the Eagles. The Eagles just literally flood the entire side of the field and just said to Quinion, you've got that side. I'm not saying the Revis Island name because that was a joke, but it is absolutely ridiculous how they're using him. Either side of the field, any receiver, doesn't matter. You go do it. And I like how he's like annoyed that he doesn't get a chance to pick it. If he gets good at the catch point, and he may never will, he'll be like all-time good.
He wants OPI right there, and he's got a point.
Because his coverage is so good. So good. God knows how they're going to pay both of them when it comes to it, but I don't know. And I did just want to also very quickly say, Adoree Jackson played well again. 2 weeks in a row, maybe 3 weeks in a row. I think he's had his best games. I did have a play of his that I know you tweeted as well. Yeah. It was this one here, where look how much more aggressive he is at comeback. Do you want to talk about this one? Because I know you tweeted it as well.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, early in the year, we saw he's at the top of the screen here. We would see him play with a lot of coverage and also open his hips really early in these routes. And you do that because you don't trust your speed. You don't want to get beat deep, but it makes it so easy for receivers to push you, and then you open your hips and then they break a route off, either a curl route, a comeback route, a dig route, whatever. You can't react to it. And if you just watch him here, like, watch how close he allows this receiver to get while he's still backpedaling. He never flips his hips, and so he's just right there to break that up. And I mean, it's 3rd and 8, and so, you know, there's a bit of that. Like, your pass rush has been winning. Pass rush and coverage go hand in hand, but it's 3rd and 8. You know they're probably going to break around the sticks. That's in your head, but I just thought this was a really good rep. He's playing a lot more confidently now, and you can see he doesn't really have help if that ball goes deep necessarily. So I thought that was a really good play by Adoree Jackson, who has played quite well over the last several weeks of the season.
And then let's just end up by saying, does Marcus Epps keep his starting position? If Makuba comes back in the playoffs, if Epps has a good last couple of weeks, is it impossible?
It's not impossible, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
He's been fine. He's been fine. I think Makuba had been fine. If Makuba was still busting coverages with the frequency he was early in the year, I think Epps would keep the job. But I think they're probably pretty similar in the impact they're making now, so you probably go with your 2nd-round draft pick.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's impossible. That's what I'll say. I think that's it.
I got 2 more clips I want to show quickly that I pulled off of my Twitter.
Go for it.
This one, just, again, talking about pass rush and coverage and how important they are working together here. Cooper DeJean, this is an incredible route by Tyler Lockett. By the way, you get Cooper DeJean running across the formation. Now he's switching on to a different receiver. He's trying to put on the brakes and get upfield, and it's just such a good route that gets him turned around. So look how open Tyler Lockett is. That's an easy throw. And it just doesn't matter, because if you watch the defensive line now, knowing what's going on, sometimes you're going to get got. And Moro Ojomo just blows this play up. And so, we talk about how that pass rush and that coverage goes together. Sometimes you need your pass rush to get a quicker win, to cover up for a mistake you made so the quarterback doesn't see it. And sometimes as a pass rusher, you need extra time to get home because your first two moves didn't work and the defense gives it. And so at its best, your pass rush and your coverage are working together. And I think they were in this game. The other one I wanted to show, this is back on linebackers, but just again, some improvement here. Watch how quickly Jahad Campbell triggers downhill.
Played a bit,
on this
didn't he,
run.
towards the end? Yeah.
Yeah, he played a little bit, but watch how quickly he comes downhill here. And I mean, he doesn't make the play, but just seeing him trigger downhill there is really nice. It's also a good job of pursuing from the backside by Moro Ojomo. So those were just a couple random clips that I wanted to show as I scrolled through my Twitter timeline that I kind of forgot about.
The ones that weren't deleted or vanished forever.
Well,
yeah.
I tweeted them. I just am usually pulling them up from my computer where I've got them like tagged with like a 2-word thing of what they are. And that's what's gone. I don't know what happened to them, but I remembered the Jahad Campbell clip and I wanted to go pull it from Twitter. So,
Right. I think that's me out, Shane. Any final thoughts? But I think, we've covered that in too much depth, because I think we did more prep than the Raiders and Pete Carroll have done in the past month, to be honest with you.
That's very possible. So, no, I think that's going to about do it for me. I don't really have much else to say other than I think, you should expect the Eagles to kind of get their swagger back over the next couple of weeks. Maybe they don't beat the Bills, but defensively, I think you should see a good game against the Commanders. You should see them tested against the Bills. That's probably the only game that's testing on either side of the ball, because the Commanders just aren't very good. The Bills don't have a good run defense, so maybe you can get some things going offensively. And obviously getting Lane Johnson back is going to be a big deal. So we'll continue breaking down the film every week to give you guys a look at the process, because the results might be a little skewed by quality of opponents. But it'll be interesting to see what they build off of and what was kind of a one-off, because the Eagles have been a bit of a one-off team offensively this year. The RPO game, the under center game, the jumbo personnel game. We'll see if this was just the under center play action game or if they continue to build that out.
Yep, I agree. And except for that, plug the Patreon as always. There'll be another preview show. We've got some fun stuff, hopefully, if we get some time for the playoffs to look at. Hopefully we get some good matchups. Shout out Krabby in the comments as always. Until next week, I guess.
Yep. All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. If you guys want some more content, come check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Eagles Film Room. I have a past game review. Jonny was giving me a hard time because I put Tanner McKee clips in there, but I was like, listen, Jalen Hurts only threw 15 passes. I can't be shortchanging my Patreon. So I think I literally put every pass attempt from the game in the past game review this week, because they didn't throw a ton and the film was short. But go check that out. Jonny will have his preview up. Eric just posted a Marcus Epps player spotlight, so I have to go watch that. And I haven't seen it yet. Maybe that would change my answer about him keeping the starting job. But you can come check that out. Grab a free 1-week trial of any membership tier. Hang out with us in the Discord, all of that fun stuff. It helps support us and the show, and we really appreciate it. Otherwise, thank you guys for joining, and we will catch you next time for another episode that we probably need to talk about off air when we're going to record it, because next Wednesday is Christmas Eve, but we'll get there. We'll catch you guys next time. Go Birds.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the protection of an offensive guard on the football field, but getting an elementary school crossing guard. Sure, they're both guards, but you can only trust one to keep your quarterback safe when the game is on the line. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This episode is brought to you by McAfee.
Finish your fantasy lineup?
No, but I'm joining this paid group chat with insider info.
Dude, seriously? Forward it to me. Security alert from McAfee. That group's as legit as that knockoff jersey you're wearing.
McAfee's scam detector is available in all McAfee plans for as little as $39.99 for your first year. Learn more at McAfee.com/online protection.
The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event is on now with awesome deals on their most popular models, including adventure-ready SUVs like the Hyundai Santa Fe and Santa Fe Hybrid. There's also the stylish Elantra, packed with the latest tech, or go electric with the Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 6. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay, a holiday you're saving.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. This season, enjoy spacious, comfortable rooms and friendly service when you book with Hilton instead. Hilton for the stay.
Hace 9 años que el Snack Wrap se fue. Así sin explicación, sin despedida. Y tú no lo superaste. Hiciste posts, tweets, hasta abriste grupos en las redes sociales. Y te enfocaste en lograr tu meta, que regresara. Y hoy, después de años de pedirlo, volvió el Snack Wrap. Ordénalo en Ranch o Spicy. Encuentra tu Snack Wrap en tu McDonald's favorito. Para pa pa pa.